Hello everyone, I am Renowned Zero. We are back again talking about more hypocrisy coming out of new CG because once again they continue to show it as they now like 3D assets. That's right. Apparently because one of their own has created a comic book with 3D assets, 3D assets, actual copy and paste of 3D assets, unlike the ones that they claim that Eric used with things like ISOM 1 and 2, which it's funny how they continue to say that assets and AI were used with things like Alpha Core, Horseman, and so on after the fact, when all those books have, Alpha Core and Horseman have the same artist, Yara has a different artist, Gooding has a different artist, even Bloodroots coming up has a different artist, but they claim it uses AI even though they have zero proof. Well, come to find out that now all of a sudden new CG loves 3D assets, and we're going to get into that right after we get through these couple of books we want to talk about here. Bloodroof #1, pre-order collection, breaking over 10k books, breaking 550k in sales, looking to be the Riververse's next great book. Of course, they have the black and white editions, which is the cheapest comic that has ever been sold under the Riververse. Same amount of pages, I believe it's 96 pages, but all in black and white. Drawn by Michael Montanet, who was a fan art contest winner. You can get in on this campaign over at Ripperverse.com. You can also get other things like Phenomenova issue #1, Lightning Strikes, coming from Vaughn Coleman. It's a good book. Great book. Get in on this. Good dude. Support his project. Heroic Tales #1 from John Booya as well, over at John's Long Box on YouTube. It's a fantastic story of a family man who just wants to help people and protect his family and many of the others in this city. So get it on that over on Fund My Comic. I believe this one is linked in my description of every video, so check it out. Now, we're going to head on over to Twitter, of course, because that's where always the crap shows always happen, is always on Twitter. So, coming to us from X-War, of course, saying, does the latest comic book by Camelot have 3D assets? Looks like it does. And if there are 3D assets, will hashtag Comicsgate have the same visceral reaction they did with ISOM? I doubt it. More hypocrisy. So you can see some of the images here from this book. Honestly, to me, looks like absolute garbage, in my opinion. Again, just my opinion. People could have different opinions on this from me, which is hilarious because, grown adults can have differing opinions on things that they like and don't like, but a lot of people over in the new CG area can't seem to grasp this simple concept. But as you scroll down here, actually I can bring it up here, so you can see the page there, and then you can see the asset here, and you can also see it here. So X-War has pointed out that, of course, they are absolutely using 3D assets, the ones that they always cried about with Eric July's ISOM #1 and #2, even though you can clearly see that it was referenced with ISOM 1 and 2, but with this one, it was clearly copy and pasted directly from wherever the person got it from. See, finished 3D model right there. Let's see what else we got here. Yes, they were busted. Same artist on the lost pages. No one really cares. But it's always interesting to me how always the clown known as Ethan Van Sciver always has to join in on the conversation, trying to put a joke on everything, which, by the way, you can tell by this, that X-War is blocked by Ethan Van Sciver. That war campaign that he started, by the way. Saying, how'd Camelot cast off get Eric July to lend him Ripperverse's best character? Bro, you're not funny. We already know this. You're trying very hard to try to get Eric July to react. It's pretty much not going to happen. You're the same guy who claims that Eric is obsessed with you. Meanwhile, you're literally always talking about him on a daily basis. And, of course, Camelot responds, for some odd reason, it was cheaper than you think. Honestly, I think this is a joke talking about the character, supposedly, that he's being lent. But there are other people that say he's talking about how the fact that it's 3D assets are easier to, have to make the book quicker. Now, going over to, of course, Camelot doubling down on this, telling everyone that straight flat out, he's using 3D assets. Because, of course, when someone on new CG uses 3D assets, it's always a good thing to them. It never fails to amaze me how much hypocrisy the people in new CG continue to show. on a consistent basis. So he says here, in honor of supporting the best 3D truck model in the business, go back my first project, Ride and Die, featuring tales of the 3D white truck and the struggles it goes through. You won't expect where it ends up next. Almost to 50K. No one's gonna care. Bro, you're doubling down on something that literally the people that you're siding with, hated that someone else did that they don't like. But obviously because you're doing it, they won't call it out the exact same way because they're absolute hypocrites, as they always are. Now there are videos surfacing, like I believe this one here, where someone like Pedo the Vito, or Vito the Pedo, talks about the grammar errors and how the fact that there's no trailer for this comic whatsoever. So let's go on over to where the comic actually is. You have 267 backers, 47 days left to go. 42K, it's pretty good, first campaign ever done. You sit here and claim that this has always been a dream of yours. It's the same exact thing you said about NASCAR, and you've been able to do NASCAR. Now all of a sudden it's been your lifelong dream to make a comic book, even though I've never once heard you talk about ever making comics. But here we go. Your book is $30. You have no intro trailer. And on top of that, you don't even display here how many pages this book is. So people are paying $30 for 3D assets. They're not told how many pages this book has. And you have no trailer, no marketing whatsoever for this book outside of what you're talking about on Twitter. I've always dreamed of telling stories about the thrill of the racetrack, sharing my high-octane racing experiences with the world, but for a long time this dream was out of reach given my lack of resources and complete inability to draw. I've never once heard you ever talk about wanting to write a story or create a comic, ever. Story of Ryan Wheeler. Ride and Die is the story of Ryan Wheeler, a man whose dreams of racing glory have seemingly reached the end of the track. So basically a self-insert, in my opinion. However, when a mysterious figure offers him a dark bargain that promises to take him to the winner's podium, he strikes a deal with the devil that he will soon come to regret. So this is a story drenched in bone-chilling horror, thrilling hyper-violence, and some of the sexiest women you've ever laid your eyes on. It's kind of the classic testosterone-fueled thrill ride that will definitely have you screaming for more. And most importantly, it's a story born out of my own longtime passion both for racing and comics. Again, I've never once heard you ever talk about comics. And I watched a lot of your live streams. Never once have I heard you talk about comics whatsoever. But you do you, man. That's what you want to go and do. People calling you a grifter because reasons, and that the whole YouTuber comic thing that EvS cries about on a consistent basis. This is the stretch goals. It's supposed to be, these are the stretch goals for this project. Obviously, we got Joe Ball. I'm sure that hero card looks awesome because Joe Ball is an amazing artist, 1,000 times better than anything EvS could ever do. There are plenty of artists that are a lot better than EvS would ever be. Again, Kentaro Mura, you'll never touch that, so stop trying to act like you're some high and mighty person or artist, because you're not. You're absolutely not. My goal with this project is to bring the racetrack to life, letting readers experience the blazing fast world of professional racing. So I really hope you'll consider backing our book and help us bring this exciting story to life. The first several chapters of the book are already completed and ready to go. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to care. As X4 would point out, it only took one YouTuber to hashtag ComicsGate-like to make a comic with 3D assets for them to start praising 3D assets. Incredible. This is how the rules work. SketchUp 3D assets? SketchUp 3D assets? Yeah. It's basically, it should be Katie Dudd's face on the secretary. Oh yeah, that would be hilarious. That is indeed a massive fumble on your part. But it's interesting to me that even clowns love to, of course, pocket watch and think I don't make the money I do on YouTube. But again, I love to keep them wondering and thinking about me constantly, because that's all they want to do is think about me constantly. I live rent free in these losers' heads. So you have, of course, Lombardi, the clown that he is, the absolute cuckold that he is for someone like EvS, saying, remember folks, that $700 that EvS made selling his original art of Renown Zero, getting thirsty for Big Daddy Santa, which honestly, like I said, this is absolutely homosexual. It's very possibly more money than he's ever than Sturgis's entire YouTube channel has made him. Where he monetizes us by talking trash and lies. Again, it would be talking trash and lying, which again, yeah, I talk a lot of trash on my YouTube channel. It's part of what I do on here. I'm allowed to do that. It's my YouTube channel. Secondly, you clowns always say that I lie about things. Meanwhile, you never point out anything I actually lie about. Because all I do is present your tweets and clips of all the things you clowns say. Which, how could I lie about something you're actually saying? You expose yourselves for being absolute losers. So I said, if anyone actually believes this, they are too far gone into the cold. LMFAO. It's always funny watching cuckolds pocket watch me. It's funny how they claim I lie about them by presenting their tweets and clips, but can never point out what I lie about. I just felt the need to throw that in there, by the way. Yeah, might as well. It's absolutely hilarious that these clowns really think about me constantly, which is absolutely, again, homosexual. And honestly, I guess it'll never end, because when you call out the lies and nonsense on a consistent basis and you're correct, they do nothing but try to destroy you and try to discredit you on a consistent basis and think that they're better than you. So I think that's all I got for today. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, hit that like button, comment below if you feel about this, subscribe for more content, hit the bell for notifications, set the bell to all that way you get a notification anytime I post a new video, go live on this channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.